Whether it's cancer, bad decisions, or a great deal of bad luck, these players aren't having their best days after being in the spotlight for too long. Here are viral NHL players. Where are they now? Number 12. Danny Heatley. Some of the guys on this list were decent but not great NHL players, while Danny Heatley was a true superstar for many years. He had back-to-back NHL seasons with 50 goals and 100 points, establishing himself as one of the league's top players. He was also a force on the world stage, although his career was marred by controversy. In his early days in Atlanta, he was driving too fast in his Ferrari and crashed, killing a teammate. In his career, he also sought many exchanges and ended up having to sue his business advisor for millions of dollars owing to faulty business dealings. Heatley is still only 36 years old, but he's been retired for years, having played his final miserable season in the NHL in 2015. All of the distractions in his personal life appear to have contributed to the way his play deteriorated. Number 11. Simon Gagne. It's strange to think of Simon Gagne as a league elite player, but the facts don't lie. He made an immediate impact for the Flyers, averaging more than 20 goals per season in his first 3 seasons and establishing himself as a reliable producer for the team. He never won a major award or was a popular player, although he had back-to-back 40-goal seasons at the same time that he played for Team Canada in the 2006 Olympics, when they lost early in the tournament to the Russians, failing to live up to their gold medal from 2002. Gagne's play dwindled in the latter stages of his Philadelphia tenure, resulting in him spending 5 seasons on 4 different teams, none of which he made much of an impact on. He had some injury issues as well, but it doesn't explain his long goal-scoring droughts. That appeared to be a lack of confidence. Number 10. Derek Roy. Derek Roy's drop in play was less startling than some of the other men on this list because of his small stature. He was barely over 5 feet tall. Short players in the NHL generally do not have the same lifespan as bigger guys because their bodies begin to wear out after years of taking brutal impacts. With the exception of Martin St. Louis and a few others, small players have a shorter NHL career than average. Derek Roy was a Buffalo Sabres star when the team was young and full of potential, with players like Jason Pominville and Maxim Afinogenov thrilling fans with their speed and clutch play. None of those players, especially Roy, have been as good since their days in Buffalo. Number 9. Jason Blake. Jason Blake went from being a great NHL sniper to a burden on the ice, which is reasonable given the circumstances. Following his best season of his career, in which he scored 40 goals against a terrible Islanders club, he informed the league that he'd been playing with and would continue to play with a rare form of treatable cancer. He continued to play, but his goal totals plummeted as he went from a 40-goal scorer to a person who struggled to hit double digits. He won the Masterson Award for perseverance and is regarded as a role model for his perseverance in the face of adversity, but there's no doubt that he quickly faded from the league, not playing a full season since 2008, and quitting for good in 2012. Number 8. Wojtek Volski. Wojtek Volski has one of the coolest names of any NHL player, and he is one of the only Polish players to play in the NHL, despite the fact that he moved to Canada when he was about 3 years old and was ineligible to play for Poland internationally because he grew up in the Canadian hockey system. Early in his career, he caused controversy when he punched up someone at a party while defending his fiancée. He had an outstanding junior career in the OHL and as a capable NHL player displaying excellent skill in shootouts. Following several dismal seasons in the NHL, many of which were cut short due to injury, he relocated to the KHL, where he still plays and isn't very effective. Number 7. Brad Boyes. Brad Boyes had a reputation as one of the league's quietest goal scorers throughout his NHL tenure. He had a laser beam of a shot that could pick out the corners with pinpoint accuracy, but he wasn't very speedy or tough, and he mostly stayed off the highlight reels. He had back-to-back 43 and 33 goal seasons with the St. Louis Blues, but his play dropped off as he was traded from team to team, eventually ending up with the Maple Leafs, where he disappointed fans. Andrew Raycroft. At 6 foot, Andrew Raycroft is extremely tiny for a modern goaltender. Many of the league's top goalies are now 6 inches taller than Raycroft, and if you watched Raycroft during any of his disappointing final NHL seasons, you'd have seen a guy who was swallowed up by the net, barely stopping anything. But it wasn't always like this. Raycroft was excellent in his first full season with the Boston Bruins, winning the Calder Trophy for Best Rookie. Nonetheless, that season turned out to be a strange fluke. He was traded to the Leafs for Tuukka Rask in one of the worst moves in Leafs history. He bounced about the league as a backup goalkeeper for a few seasons, played in Italy and Sweden, and is now a volunteer coach for a college team, which had to feel fairly bad for a former Calder winner. If you're having fun so far, a like and subscribing would go miles in helping us grow and make more content. Number 5. Sergey Samsonov. Sergey Samsonov appears to be a relic of the past, but he is only 39 years old, so if he had been able to continue playing at a high level in the NHL, he could still be in the league. He was unreliable near the conclusion of his career, and he has been retired since 2011, a season in which he only played 20 games. One thing I've observed with compiling this list is that many NHL players appear to spend their final seasons in Florida, which is sort of amusing, as if they're trying out early retirement. Samsonov, like Raycroft, earned the Calder Trophy while playing for the Boston Bruins. They must have had an excellent player development program back then. Number 4. Ilya Bryzgalov. Everyone knows goalies have a reputation for being oddballs, but Ilya Bryzgalov was one of the oddest. His post-game interviews frequently had the feel of some kind of abstract performance art, as he would provide non-sequitur responses to questions, or discuss his position in the NHL as if it were all a big humorous joke to him. But there was a time when he was one of the league's top goalies. He was a 2-time Vezina Trophy runner-up and a Hart Trophy finalist. He won a Stanley Cup with the Ducks and numerous medals for Russia on the international level at a period when they were the best international hockey team in the world, circa 2009. His play declined significantly in his latter career as he was frequently shelled and was regularly relegated to the minors and bought out. He truly lost his attention when he lost it. Number 3. Eric Darcy. Though he is virtually forgotten now, Eric Darcy was a true standout for the Chicago Blackhawks during a period when they were consistently bad, resulting in draft picks that led to players like Taves and Kane, who later led them to many cup campaigns. Darcy is a huge guy who was known for his one-timer and for being clutch, scoring goals when they were needed the most. However, he suffered from severe back problems and only played 3 full NHL seasons. He was forced to retire in 2006 after just playing 1 game that season. His injury issues were a double-edged sword in the Blackhawks' history. They would have been better with him around, but they might not have been as good in the future. Number 2. Tim Connolly. It's difficult to determine exactly what transpired in Tim Connolly's situation. He was a very strong junior player, as were many of the players on this list, and he was taken 5th overall in the 1999 draft. He was a decent player for the Islanders in his early days, putting up solid points and flashing remarkable skill and speed. Perhaps the issue was that he never found a team where he fit in. He signed with the Maple Leafs, who irritated him by scarcely playing him and relegating him to the minors, where fans and ownership were irritated that he was being paid $5 million per year to play in the minors. He too was frequently injured, and he played his final NHL season in 2012, retiring at the far too early age of 31. Number 1. Andy McDonald. Andy McDonald was a pleasant surprise in the NHL. He went undrafted, which is unusual for NHL players, and he didn't appear to have a chance until the Anaheim Ducks signed him as a free agent in 2000. He did, however, emerge as a valuable asset to the Ducks, with point-per-game seasons and consistent productivity for the team. Unfortunately, he sustained frequent head impacts and was troubled by concussion symptoms throughout his career, forcing him to retire from hockey in 2013 after several seasons with the St. Louis Blues. He retired at 35, which isn't bad, but practically all of his seasons before that were cut short by injury, and one gets the impression if he could have kept healthy, he could have been a perennial all-star. If you're still craving more NHL content, we recommend clicking the link on the screen to watch the most annoying fan base in the NHL.